Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Happy Halloween. It's Mike. It is the 31st of October. This is your daily market recap and option flow update. Tough day, guys. Markets are on their highs of the day here, but it's been choppy. It's been vicious, and it's just tough. They're making it very tough on day traders. If you're swinging and you're buying time, you don't care. But if you're trying to day trade and you overstay your welcome or you go in at the wrong spot, it's just painful. With that, let's just look at some of the things here. We do have a lot going on the next couple of days. We have the Fed meeting tomorrow to start today, the announcements tomorrow. Fabulous. We'll get the results on that tomorrow. If you guys are joining me live, welcome. You can also chat with me on the side over here. If you'd like. Today, the announcements tomorrow. You can send me chat. But, we have that going on. We have some big names and earnings kicking in with Facebook and BABA and Apple and Tesla, among others. So there's a lot here to move the markets. The whole shakeup over the indictments is still there, though I think it's going to be a while now before we get any additional news on that. So let's jump to it. The SPY right now on the highs, a little bit less than an hour to go. It's just holding the 8-day and trading just fine. There's nothing to see here, nothing wrong with it. The Qs still extending, riding higher here. Look at this, new all-time high just a little while ago today. So, you can say what you want. There's nothing to fear here in this market at this particular point. We look at some of the different sectors. The financials ahead of tomorrow, actually unusual. Usually they run. They're kind of quiet here today, holding on the 8-day. They might just be waiting. This is one of Yellen's last Fed chair she'll be residing over. I mean, it's assumed she won't be back. So we'll see how that plays out. Crude today is having another strong day, a new high here, approaching the year high at this point. And the XLE is starting to wake up, something we'll keep an eye on here at this point. Some of the names, PDX caught a big call sweeper earlier today, but DXD, big one, but it has earnings tomorrow. So, you take that with a grain of salt, but had a nice move ahead of it. We have APC has earnings tomorrow. So we'll see how this plays out. BP had earnings today, and it had a nice gap, and it just held it perfectly. So we'll keep an eye on that. Biotech continues to be just out of play. I tried 2 trades on biotech today. One, I took Lebu. I took it off a trigger of mine I had here. I took it. I didn't stay with it long. I only made like a 50 bucks on 1,000 shares. I was in it for about a minute and a half and decided just wasn't playing right. And at the time I was trading, it was right in, was trading in this area, and I just felt like I was trying to force the trade, so I took it off. The other one was Bib, and I took, I think I had 4 of them. I did take a little hit on this, a couple $100. And the reason I tried it is we had call sweepers yesterday, 260 calls, then they hit the November 320s, and then this morning they took the November, the weekly 320s. So I took a shot on it, and I tried to give it room, and it just did not behave well, and I finally bailed on it in here at some point. I'll look at this tomorrow. The reason I'm looking at these, they're oversold. It's got a gap here, but right now the 8 and the 50-day, if you can see this, are the resistance. It hit it, and it stopped, and it pulled back. What else can we look at here today from a flow perspective? Most of the flow today were names like Apple. Apple, tremendous amount of flow, but we have earnings, right? Finally, good news coming out in the iPhone 10. What a move in this thing. I wasn't even looking to play it. Another name that saw tremendous flow today was Facebook. And they're playing catch up. They don't have exposure to these names, so they're trying to desperately get exposure now ahead of earnings, right? Here's your Facebook. Your Facebook earnings is tomorrow night. So that'll be the first one to go. And that will move a lot of the other names like Google. Facebook, by the way, has a history of not moving on earnings much. So, I mean, if you go back and you look at this, earnings day, not much action. Earnings day, doesn't move. Earnings day, nice move up, gives most of it back, then fills the whole thing down the next couple weeks, right? So Facebook has a history of not moving on earnings day, so we'll have to see how that plays out here. I don't play earnings. I have no position in it, so I'm not thinking about it. BABA kicked off singles day today. BABA has earnings on Thursday morning? Yep, Thursday morning. Look at this move, 3 days, boom, beautiful. Right, BABA saw some flow. Keep going there. BABA 180s, 900,000 of them. I want the name that took off. Talked about it this morning. We talked about Micron this morning on the call. I didn't get it because it moved right away and they just bought it all day long. all day, 480, the 43s, and now they've been hitting the 46s. This week's 46s they've been hitting. Beautiful, huge, huge, huge move in Micron. Looks good. And not to be outdone, NVIDIA. NVIDIA has caught action today, and they're buying weekly, you're not going to believe this, weekly 215 calls. Weekly 215 calls on NVIDIA. We'll keep an eye on one. That one's in play for us tomorrow as well. We'll see if we can get day twos out of this and some continuation on it. Again, you people viewing me live, there's a chat. Feel free to chat. If you have any questions, go ahead and hit me up. We had AMBA today on the pre-morning calls. AMBA had a nice move, and they came back for more. I don't love the calls on AMBA, and the calls that they bought today came in here, and it hasn't really moved, so I did not buy any of the common. But they went back after the weekly 56s again. They about $90,000 more of them. Tesla has earnings this week. This thing exploded, and I wasn't looking at it because I don't generally play options on Tesla the week of earnings because they're overpriced. But man, what a move. It's just the type of day and week it was, guys. That said, as we go into tomorrow, there are some things out there. They came back after IBM again. By the way, you guys are seeing my private Twitter feed on here. So if you're seeing this and you like this, feel free to join me at smartoptiontrading.com. There's a link in the description under the video. Everything gets posted here, trades, news, events, on all the option flow. So, and IBM also had news. They authorized a $3 billion stock buyback. And, you know, it didn't, that was here. It's done nothing since then. So, you know, IBM remains on my watch here at this point, but it's still not quite behaving right. Still does not look quite ready to move. And it's hard. It's hard. Citigroup now, they've been buying the March 90 calls here into the close. Over 11,000 of them now have been bought. I like this name. I like the banks. I'm long Citigroup. I'm long Goldman Sachs, which had a nice day as well. So you know, you got to pick your spots here. You got to buy time. Try to avoid weeklies for now. They're not playing great. Chris, you're right. That move on the first was an incredible first 5-minute move onto the gap. Should have bought it and didn't. On Micron, Chris is talking to me about, and I just didn't do it. And that's me. And honestly, my headspace was not in its place to play heavily today. That said, I also called that Google. It had a nice move, but now it's giving it all back. Google and Facebook like to move together, so we may have to wait until after tomorrow night for this thing to get going. Flagging nicely here after that bad candle. I kind of like the look of this. I really like the look of Google here. I like it a lot. I may have to sneak a couple calls tomorrow before Facebook earnings. I'll have to take a look at it. But I really like the look of this. JD, they did. So JD, they came in as separate orders, and they both look bought. But, and this is where sometimes it takes somebody to decipher things. And I want to show you guys this because a lot of people always say, oh, this is easy. Anybody can follow option flow. And I will be the first to tell you, it's not easy. Not easy at all. So let's take a look at this. JD. So you can see there's 4,000 of these March 40 calls, right? And they came in, and these were definitely bought. See these March 50s? They came in about the same time. They were not tied together, but that was definitely a spread. And these were probably sold. But that's a big bullish spread, call spread on Facebook. I'm not Facebook, JD. See, they're buying these and selling these against it, looking for a $10 gain. That's what their max profit is, $10 per contract. That's a nice gain. So that's what they're looking for by March. So that was a very nice play on JD, but somebody thought these were both bought. They're not both bought. This was bought, and these were sold against it, which is very, very hard to tell. So what else is on? Chris, you're asking about Twitter? Yeah, Twitter's taking a nice inside day, Chris. It's a much-needed day of rest after this move. Twitter never trades easily into gaps, never trades cleanly. That's why you know, you saw me taking profits these 2 days, all the way up, right? I was selling. I would have liked to have seen it hold here, the previous breakout. So now we'll look to about 50% retracement of this move would be the good place, or the 8-day. So, you know, this is the extent of my fib, guys. So, you know, you guys got to watch this. I feel if you guys know fibs well, you're all going to cry here. Where's my fibs? They changed all the icons. All right, so if we were to take it from the low of this candle to the high of this candle, oops, I did it backwards. Anyway, you can see you want it to hold somewhere in this candle or the 8-day. So I'm going to look for the 8-day now to hang in there and see if they come screaming for it. There was no call buying out today. We did see a lot of call buying the last couple of days. So, you know, nothing wrong here, nothing bad here. So we'll just see how this plays out. All right. Other than that, guys, the flow today was remarkably just flow. Most of it was around earnings. I always laugh. The Nigerians pimped X, which has earnings tonight after bad earnings in the sector. We've had bad AKS, bad CBI, and they were talking about the November 27s, and what they failed to point out is that the November 29s were sold against it. And it wasn't bullish, it was a call spread. But this is the type of stuff that'll drive you insane. There was also some puts bought on at the same time, January 20-somethings. I don't remember. I have to go look. So, you know, stuff like this, it just will make you cringe all the time. You know, their stuff is good to play for a quick pump during fast time, during the halftime report. But, you know, most of the stuff, when you hear them calling earnings plays, just don't even bother. You know, they're asking for you to help them get out of a position they're in. I do love them. I love playing their stuff, but, you know, that's really what it comes down to. By the way, while we've been sitting here and I have been paying attention, more Micron and a lot of bank coming in. So, you know, here comes the bank stuff. So right now, watch this on bank. You can start watching as I start posting this to people. Bank, weekly 2750 calls are being swept. Times 35, got 35,000, right? We haven't seen a lot of sweepers into Bank of America today. And now here comes another one right behind it just a minute ago. Feb 29 calls, split ticket. $200,000 worth of them coming in. And not to be outdone, Micron, not done yet. Micron, November 48s. They're swept. $115,000 worth of Micron, November 48s. I mean, that's just incredible. Just incredible. What else we got? All right, that catches up. So, you know, just interesting, incredible stuff here. You want to see, this is my real-time option flow looks like. You can see some of the looks of this throughout the day. So guys, I'm going to put this out there for everybody. I hope everybody has a happy Halloween tonight. To me, no damage done here. Nothing, no damage. The market's up high, very low volume. Nothing really going on here. They're really chopping people around. With 45 minutes to go, we are 24 million shares traded on the SPY. This is death volume. You're playing against computers. The only thing you want to do is trade names that have momentum. They piled onto them. You saw that early, Micron, NVIDIA, and Tesla. I noted these early to the people in my subscription, my service, that we had it. If this is something you like, give me a look. You can come over to, there goes, I hate when that happens. Sometimes Explorer gets a little bit pissy here when I have a lot of windows open. Look me up at smartoptiontrading.com. You'll come to a page. It looks like this. Come on in. You can go get some real-time option flow. Or if you're struggling or need help, I do mentoring. I do teaching as well. Hit me up there. I'll help you out. I hope everybody has a great Halloween. I'll be back in the morning. You guys have a fabulous night. Thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing. One last thing. I'll put this up here. If you guys are not already, you want to click on this link, subscribe to my YouTube channel so you get automatic notifications when I'm going live. Have a good evening, guys. I'm out.